Good evening, everyone. This is Robert Pults, and we're getting here. Looks like that Zoom has changed the screens a little bit. All righty. Tonight, we're going to talk about where my family came from in Germany. This again is a family question. This is family question number 3, according to this list. It's out of order for the way they occurred, but that's okay. As I said the last time, each year I'm asking the family what questions they have about our family. And then I set that as my priorities for research for that year. And so this year, this came up. First off, I'm neither a professional nor an expert genealogist. I'm just like you. I do presentations and demonstrations, and I think I'm in 6 genealogy societies now. And I think I've done one for each one of them, to be frank about it. I started doing the videos because the feedback I kept getting is you go too fast. And that concerned me because I'd like to have people stay up with what I'm doing. It doesn't do much good for me to stand up in front of people and have them not learn anything. And so I started doing videos so they could stop it and rewind it. And the feedback I got was pretty good on that. I'm really learning DNA and AI right now. So anything that I do on that, take with a grain of salt because it's not likely to be as well worked out as some of the other stuff I've done. I haven't done that since 1992. And in fact, I was late to the game for all this, for the DNA and AI. And I'm not so sure I'm going to be very good on AI at all. DNA, I'm getting pretty good on. I've got a coach that's helping me. Like I said, I make to make genealogy relevant to my family once a year. I've been asking them what questions do they have about the family, and I got quite a nice list. This is the 3rd one that I've answered on YouTube. I'm doing that because I think maybe some of you might have similar questions and might be interested in how I'm doing it. And maybe you'll give me some feedback on how to do it better. I would appreciate it. This specific question was to Germany, was specific to Germany. It resulted from my sharing my DNA ethnicity. I've done DNA on both Ancestry and My Heritage, and I've done Y-DNA on Family Tree DNA, and showed up a large preponderance of being German. It dropped down quite a bit when I did Ancestry. My Heritage had me up at 92%. I chose to do the answer. I chose the 16 surnames, my great-great-grandparents, for the answer. When I was putting it together, I realized that if I added 4 more names to it that weren't in Germany, I'd have all of them. So I went ahead and did that. I thought it would be useful to take and see where they're all from. Okay. Let's see. Okay, this is the process I'm going to use. I'm going to show you the research log. I'm going to show you a map of all of them. I'm going to show you a fan chart, although it's not as detailed as the one that's behind me, but the one that's behind me is much harder to read than the chart that I'm going to show you. And this is the 16 names that I was telling you that I was doing in this research. And, okay, now that's that. Okay, where is the family from in Germany? This is my response to them. These are all HTML documents that I write. And so I can take and organize my stuff and my data so that they can take and see it. Research log. I try and include a research log with all the answers so that if somebody wants to take and go back and look at the information, this is my research log. This is done in Zotero. I have several videos on how to take and do that in Zotero. So it's, it's the kind of output that you can get from Zotero without much effort, really. I haven't put a whole lot of notes in here as I scroll through here and look at it. But anyway, you you can add all the notes you want to when you're doing research with these people. So you can take and put it all there and print it out pretty easily. Okay, here's the map of all. Okay. Now what I've done here is I've taken all the names, and over here I've listed all the locations. This is a Google Map application. You can take and add each one of these in here, and you'll see I went way beyond Germany. I have Scottish, I have Ireland, I have the UK or Britain. I also have Barbados in there, but the Barbados came from England, so if you go back one more generation. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. One of the problems I have is my strength of connections is not developed yet for this. This is kind of interesting. I have two main lines, my Pults line and my Kern line. And this is where the pulses are from, and this is where the kerns are from. And then look how this cluster, how close that is. Then you spread it out a little bit, and you start getting up in here and here in Germany. But for the most part, my largest amount of DNA is from this area of Germany. And we just made a trip over there, 4 years ago, I guess now, and went right down the Rhine, right through all of this. And I knew that at Karlsbad at the time, and I knew this is Osendorf, and I'll show you how to spell that in a minute. And I knew Worms, and I knew they were out of Meinheim and Heidelberg. So I kind of kept my eyes out. This is a beautiful area up here. This is wine area. At the time we went through in October, all the wine vines were yellow. It was an absolutely gorgeous area. Karlsbad, we passed at 4 a.m. in the morning. I drove the ship captain nuts because I was up on the deck and no one else was. He was worried about me, and I said, I'm looking for Karlsbad. Well, actually, Ingolstadt, which is a subdivision of Karlsbad today. It was a separate village at the time. My family lived there in 1737. But you see the Rhine here, and basically the French and the Germans were fighting all the time. Ingolstadt was burned to the ground about 37 years before my family came over, so I assume that was part of the reason they eventually came over. Osendorf, I don't know. One of the research that I've done there is and I'm probably not pronouncing these names correctly. Somebody, if you can correct me, that would be nice. It suggested that there was a World War II prison there for the Jews, concentration camp. So that may be true. I haven't done enough research on it. One of the things that dropped out of this was that I need to do more research on strength of connections for these 16 people. I've been off doing things for some of these some branches here that aren't represented here and that aren't in those 16. I need to make sure all these 16 are correct. You might have the same issue. Okay, let's go down through here. I'm going to keep the map there in case I need to jump over there too. Okay, what I did is I broke this between the Pults family and the Kern family. We talked about that before. Here we go. And here's the line that breaks it. Okay. And then I put it in decreasing immigration order. So my oldest relative came over between 1609 and 1662. And I think it's closer to 1609. And it was either John Chaplin or Francis Chaplin. And like I said, I need to do work on strength of connections. Oh, by the way, while we're here, I've added 2 columns for reference numbers here. This is a continuing project. This is the 2024 version, so I'll be doing this probably yearly. And you see I have the strength of connections here that I'm putting in here, so I'm trying to understand how strong it is. And these are the reference numbers for the individuals going from me up here down to these individuals. Now, There is some controversy here on which one of these came over on the ship and which one was born here. For instance, Francis could have been born here. So Chaplin, and that's England, and that is this one here. Okay. Okay. So the next family is Arnold, and they came from Suffolk, England. And I haven't filled in this information over here yet for them. And the relative appears to be Thomas Arnold. I haven't filled in strength over here, so I don't know for that whether that's true or not. And he came from Suffolk, England, which is basically, this is Suffolk. Okay. And the other one is just England. So it's the whole place. And then the next one is Higgenbotham. I may be pronouncing these correctly, I may not. And my relative was Charles Higgenbotham. It was 1679 to 1680, the best I've got right now. Here, these, by the way, are the family search IDs. I have my own ID system that I had set up long before I discovered family search. So I have two sets of reference numbers on these people. Sometimes I have four sets of reference numbers on it because I reference to them to the major books that I'm using. So they came over in 1679 to 1860. And then Bell came from Scotland, and that was 1712 to 1736. And Walter Bell is the current best guess at the relative there. And here he is up here in that area. And then the Pultzes came over in 1737. They actually came over as Boltzes, and then the name got changed to this. There's actually 6 more spellings of this name. If you get down to West Virginia, where they were in West Virginia, that adds 6 more spellings to the name because they were changing out church ministers, and every time one came in, they spelled it differently. So that's Ingolstaden, as I showed you, Ingolstaden. And John Michael Bowes. This is pretty well documented. I would think the strength is going to be reasonably decent there. A lot of family work in there. And so that's pretty much done. What's the done for? Okay, status is done. Okay, that's the only one that I feel like is done. Okay, next family was Hetsch, and that came from Rhineland-Palatine. Let's see if I can find that. That would be over here. Palatine's going to be down in this area, but I don't know which one it is. I don't know whether this will do that. Okay. Let's see if I've got Rhineland over here in my list. Ingolstadt, Palatine. There it is. Had to go to Palatine. So that's it in that area. Okay. Google Maps is really useful to them. Okay, we talked about that. And then Domer just came from Germany. Sounds like I need a lot of strength of connection there. And Catherine K. Domer. And that O has a double dot over the top of it. And or it could be Klein. Like I said, I need to do a lot of strength of connections work on this. And the last one is Kennedy. And they came over in 1864. And Alexander Kennedy came over. And I found that very interesting. I didn't realize it at the time until I did. Oh, this has been a real refreshing project for me. Look here. It's over in Northern Ireland. Actually, it's right over here. But anyway, it's Northern Ireland. And I guess that's in the right county. Okay. So anyway, but it's in Northern Ireland. So I didn't really realize I had family from Northern Ireland. I knew I had family from Ireland. And that actually did show up on my DNA at Ancestry. It did show it up on the DNA from my heritage. So the next one on the Kern side now, we've gone over to the Kern side, and now we're going back to 1832 with Susan Gantz. Now, those of you that know me know that Susan has been a pain for me to take in research. But I had my last piece work was that Susan was Hessen, from Hessen. I do not know her parents, and she's one of my challenges I've been working on since 2017, 2018, trying to take and find her. I've used all types of techniques on her. So if anybody has anything on the Gantz family in Germany, would be interested in that. Then Adam Schenk. The fortunate thing about Adam Schenk is that there's been one member of the family has written 2 research books. Unfortunately, it's one of those research books in which there's no sources. And I would like to know where he found some of the information that he's got. And so, let's do a map here. See what I did for maps. Okay. That's a detailed map of actually where it's at. Okay. Good, I did that. Hey, I'm smarter than I think I am sometimes. Okay. The next name was Behme, and they're from Hanover, Germany. Actually, they moved all around in Germany when I did, but Anton Behme Fleck. Well, there's another controversy here whether he had just Behme when he was over there or it was Fleck and he went by Behme. So there's got to be a story there. Another strength of connections issue that I need to get into. Gauer. Elizabeth Gauer is the relative there, and she came from Hessen. And let's see, this may be a little better way of showing it. Okay. The only problem is you don't have the relationship with the other families. Okay, but that's a good way of showing it. So, and so that's Gauer, and then Pfisterer. This is another weak line of mine. The relative of mine that's in this line, my great-great-grandmother, our great-grandmother, died when she was about 27 years old, and had at that point had 2 children. There was sickness in the family. He was down with I don't know, scarlet fever or something like that. And she was taking care of him, and it got to be too much for her. Gaiser, Jonathan George Gaiser is the relative, and he's in Württemberg. And then Kern is in Ossenfern, and the one that came over was Christian Kern. That's also well documented in a book called A Family Named Kern, which you can find at the Willard Library in Evansville, Indiana, if you have Kerns that are from the Evansville, Indiana area. And then here's Harf. Okay, these are all of these people are Indiana. Everyone on my mother's side. My mother was the first person to marry outside of the Germans in Evansville, Indiana, or actually Vandenberg County in Indiana. And they so all of them were there, and most of them are still there today. Anne Maria Hoff. Okay. And she's from Steinman, Rasmussen, Baden-Württemberg. Let's see if we can find that today. Steinman, Baden. What did I have to drop it down to? Baden-Württemberg. Well, there it is. Okay. Sometimes when you get into the German spellings of these names, it gets to be a challenge to keep up with them. But so it's very interesting, I think, to find the clusters of where these people are from. Yeah. This was the Behmes were up here, and look how far they are from the Kerns. And the Kerns are down here. Yet those families married in Evansville, Indiana. So anyway, let's go back to this. Bear with me a minute. Okay, associated videos, you'll find that the other family questions or FQ videos. And this one was done yesterday on more information on grandmother blow. And FQ001 was how did our family get to Oklahoma? Now, this may be of interest to you if this video is interesting. The video I'm producing right now is interesting to you because I used mind mapping in this for the family names in Oklahoma. So some of these have family names and detailed charts in this video. So that could be of interest to you. I plan on using mind mapping probably next year. And put those charts into this answer to this question also. Okay, there's my email address. Please subscribe, give a thumbs up if you like this. I do respond to emails, but it may take me a while. And please email additional topics you think I should tape, like for instance, how I made the map. Thank you for your time, and thank you for viewing the channel. You have a great day.